Hello everyone, hello, welcome back to the channel. Today, I have a new chair and it doesn't have wheels, but anyway, today we're going over Dig Out Your Soul, the 8th and final Oasis album. So our Oasis series is now complete. Amazing, it took me forever, but I did it. After this video, after I've done Oasis, obviously I'll keep doing what I'm doing because I love doing it, but I want to try and start doing new things. I've reacted to my first video and that was really cool because I'd learned how to put a video on top of another video, so I'm going to start doing videos that test my editing skills and, because I'm not actually that good at editing. The editing I do is really simple. Anyway, this is the 8th and final Oasis album, released in 2008, a year before they split up as a band. And honestly, it's not like the most... Look, they were on their way out as a band, Noel Gallagher didn't want to be there anymore, and he was just showing up to cash in the checks, and that's his own words. And then, so essentially, they broke up in Paris right before a gig. They were all backstage, and the story goes that Liam Gallagher came in with Noel Gallagher's guitar and threatened to hit him over the head with it because he was drunk or pissed off or something. And Noel Gallagher just said, I've had enough, that's it. So he got on a taxi, he quit the band and he left, he was gone. And that was it. And all the fans were in the stadium waiting for them to come out. And someone had to come on stage, obviously in French, and say, sorry, but Oasis it's not happening, they split up. And there's a song, if you get the Riverman single, or you find it on whatever streaming service you use, the B-side to that is called Leave My Guitar Alone, which was written about that experience of Liam Gallagher having his guitar. It's sort of like holding a guitar like a weapon, that's what I'm doing. And it's unfortunate, but it's also like, they weren't really putting in the effort anymore, which we'll talk about after the looks. So I actually really like this album cover. This is... so anyway, firstly, this is an American release because I found it in Rough Trade and it said it was a rare American issue. So just really cool, It's it's one of 2 American records I have. And I only bought it because it was the one I needed, I'm not really bothered about having an American. It's not a huge deal. Anyway, so it's sort of like a paper collage, mache sort of thing. And I think it's really cool. But Noel Gallagher would use this again on his third album, I believe. And I love the writing on the back. That always looks cool. Now, something that confuses me about Oasis, the Oasis discography, is that, so this one is 45 RPM, then the previous one isn't, and then there's another 45, and then there is, and there, it goes back and forth. I'll show you the gatefold. Lovely gatefold. Always love a gatefold. Vinyl is much more worth the price if there's a gatefold. I ain't spending $30 on a record if it doesn't have a gatefold. That's something interesting. And I love the art style. I know what this art style is called. I would just call it like, paper mache or paper collage. Collage, I can't fucking talk. But it's really cool, and I like the labels as well, but let's talk about the music. So I should mention to begin with that Starkey is his nickname, plays drums on this album, who, if you didn't know, is Ringo Starr's son, or his grandson. No, I think it is his son. But I love so this album has a very heavy and chaotic production to it. And everything sounds really rich and loud. And I love that about the album. I love the opening song, Bag It Up, with the really loud guitars. And the turning is great too. I love how at the end it sort of fizzles out into this lovely little guitar piece with the sound of New York, because Jem and Noel was sat in New York when he came up with that little bit of guitar riff, which is cool. Now, Waiting for the Rapture, the third song. This is Noel Gallagher typically being a Noel Gallagher. So Noel Gallagher has always said for years that he doesn't like the Doors. He thinks the Doors and Jim Morrison are incredibly overrated. He's wrong, but Waiting for the Rapture uses a Doors riff. That's where the hypocrisy is. It's like, why are you saying they're overrated if you're going to take one of their riffs? Anyway, it's just weird. The Shock of Lightning, which is one of the best songs on the album. Really loud, heavy, very punk. And Liam Gallagher's vocals, they're amazing across the whole album, but that song really stands out. Really loud and boisterous. It's brilliant. And then from there it goes into I'm Out of Time, which is proof that Liam Gallagher can write a good song. Now, apparently, or he says in an interview that it took him 9 years to write it, but it's so beautiful. And I love his vocals. That's where his vocals shine through again. And the lyrics are amazing. And I love the John Lennon quote at the end, talking about, is it not going to be there when I get back? And I believe there was a bit of controversy around. No, what it was, Noel Gallagher didn't want that song on the album because he thought it wouldn't fit. And then the bandmates were like, it's got to go on the album, it's brilliant. Anyway, but it's a really beautiful song. So you should definitely go and check it out if you haven't. Get Off Your High Horse Lady is a bit, it's supposed, I think it's like a folk song. And the instrumentals are alright. I love the drums on it. Noel Gallagher plays drums on that track, but the lyrics are they're not some of Noel Gallagher's best lyrics. But then that leads into Falling Down, which is amazing. I love the chorus, If you can't help me, please don't waste my time. It's all that I've ever known. I'm falling down on all that I've ever known. Noel Gallagher's vocals are beautiful. The instrumental is amazing. And actually, it's got a great music video, but that song was used as an anime opening. I forget what the anime is called now, because I haven't looked it up in a while, but an anime used it as an opening song, which is always cool. To Be Where There's Life is great. That's more of, it's got like those sitars coming in, and these more Indian-inspired synths. It's more of a like George Harrison style, what's it called? All Things Must Pass sort of era George Harrison. Ain't Got Nothing it's all right. The Nature of Reality, again, I love the heavy punchy guitar, but it doesn't really amount to anything. And then the last song on the album, and what I consider the last Oasis song, I believe it's not the last one they recorded, but since on the discography it's the last song, I consider it that, is Soldier On, which is so poignant and beautiful and written by Liam Gallagher. Liam Gallagher wrote the lyrics, but then obviously Jem and Bell did the instrumental, but apparently they did it while they were drunk. And the next day, Noel Gallagher finds the tape or finds the recording, and he's asking them, what's this? Where's this come from? And none of them can remember making it because they were drunk. But another band, I should have looked it up, another band came in and heard the recording and said, that is amazing, you've got to put that on the album. And, I love the lyrics about, I definitely didn't cut to get the lyrics up. Hold a light, friend of mine, sing a song, soldier on. Shine a light for me tonight, don't be long, soldier on. Who's to say that you were right and I was wrong, soldier on. Come the day, come the night, I'll be gone, soldier on. And then it just repeats soldier on over this really beautiful instrumentation. And it's just so poignant as the last Oasis song. Obviously, when they recorded it, they didn't know it was going to be the last Oasis song. But it's just a great closing track to the album as well. The album overall, it's definitely better than I Don't Believe the Truth. But, I'm kind of glad it was the last Oasis album. Because, everything has to end. And everything should end. Like The Simpsons is a great example. That should have ended years ago. Anyway, in conclusion, this album is an 8 out of 10. It's near perfect, and it's so much better than Don't Believe the Truth. And I would definitely, if you haven't heard this before, I'd definitely go and pick it up. Because you can. I've been seeing this in record shops now, which is really annoying, because back when I started collecting, you couldn't find this. This was impossible. As well as as well as the two BDI albums, which we'll talk about BDI and their solo careers a bit. So after Noel Gallagher left the band, the rest of the band formed BDI. They couldn't keep the Oasis name. And there's two albums. The first BDI album has some great songs in it, like The Roller and Start Anew is a good one. No, is that on their second one? No, I think that's their first one. And The Beat Goes On, which is amazing. But overall, the album is a bit bland, a bit boring. And then in 2013, they would come out with B, their second album, which is a million times better, but it still was lacking quite a bit. And there are some great B-sides that didn't make it on the album, that should have been on the album. Now, after that, that just sort of died. And they were playing live shows in little coffee shops and fucking Rough Trade Records. Nothing wrong with Rough Trade Records, but they used to be a big stadium band. They had fallen off hard. And there's a whole documentary called As You Were that documents the story of Liam Gallagher. At that point, he was really depressed and down in the dumps because making music was his life. And now he'd lost his band and another band. And, that's why it took him so long to sign a deal with Warner Brothers to start his solo career. Now, before Liam Gallagher had a solo career, I would have wanted an Oasis reunion. But now that he's making music, I don't really want an Oasis reunion because his music's standalone. It's amazing, We've got two great solo careers. And if they ever came back together as a band, the music, it might not live up to the hype, sort of thing. So Liam Gallagher's amazing. And then Noel Gallagher, his solo career it's amazing. This album, his first one, is, in my mind, one of the greatest albums ever made. And actually, this is one of the first records I ever bought. This is the third one. Then his second album, Chasing Yesterday, is brilliant. Absolutely love it. And then his third album, which I shit on before, and I'm not going to shit on again, but he still hasn't really grown on me. It's a lot more pop, or Noel Gallagher called it space pop, and it just didn't really sit well with me. And then playing it live, he had a woman playing the scissors. So Liam Gallagher told all his fans to go to the stadium with potato peelers because they were just mocking him. And, then after that, he'd release some EPs, right? And they varied in quality. There are some great songs like Wandering Star, Come On Outside. I actually really like Black Star Dancing. I don't think it's that bad. But some of them were just not it at all. And then he released just last month or the month before, he would release his best of album or his greatest hits or whatever. And there's two songs on there that are amazing. Absolutely brilliant. But yeah, that's the Oasis discography. So I hope you enjoyed if you watched all of them. Please go back and watch the others if you haven't and subscribe for more. And I'll see you all again soon when we try something different. Take care, everyone.